Ich war kein Thief, Football-Cast, we're here to light the fire. Spitting facts and stats, you know we never tire. Bringing the heat up, have passion, won't retire. Busting through the mic, our voices never expire. We ignite the spirit, never fading out. Light the torch, USC fans rise up high. On this podcast, we aim for the sky. Knowledge and entertainment never lie. Together we stand, let the truth amplify.
What's going on, Trojan fans? Welcome back to another live episode of the Light the Torch podcast. And so we're just 28 days left, or is it 28 days or 20? Is it 28 days before the season starts? So it's getting closer, fans. It's getting closer. So we got some stuff to talk about today. We got a new recruit. I think probably maybe the last one, possibly a part of this class, maybe one more, but we'll see. We got some DJ Winfield updates, and then we also are going to go ahead and talk about some spring camp updates, or it's not spring camp, fall camp updates, and then we'll go into the early preview for Nebraska. So it's just going to be us today, and we actually might be switching the live show start times to a little bit earlier, so we can get B Jones in here because he's a working man. So we got to make sure we can get him in here. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and introduce the boys. To my right, we got Guns. How's it going, Guns?
Doing good. Fight on.
And then to my bottom, to the middle, we have Raul. How's it going, Raul? You're on mute.
I was saying it's going great. Sunday, enjoying time with the family. Nice weather out here in Los Angeles, and with that being said, fight on.
All right, and we got our fifth honorary member here, Kristen. How's it going, Kristen? It's that time, fellas. I'm in the building. The show can start. Appreciate the $5 dono, man. So, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So, we're going back to the quarters like we did last week. So we're going to try to be as structured as possible. So. The first quarter for today is going to be it could be a quick quarter here, but DJ updates. So so DJ and his lawyers have filed a temporary restraining order against the NCAA. So, or at least they filed for it, and we should be finding out if it gets approved on the 8th. Is that correct, Guns?
That's correct. Yeah, August 8th, we should hear, some type of resolution on that TRO.
So what does that mean then for him?
Say again?
So what does that mean for him then?
Yeah, so basically it's in a bid to be able to practice and play. So basically if he were to get approved, that means the NCAA can't mess with him, so he'd be able to practice and ultimately play. And this is like a step in the legal framework. A lot of players have done this in the past. Hasn't been great, but still it's just an option that they're looking to do before they actually motion that injunction.
And what does that mean? So like you say that it gets approved, so right now he'll be able to practice up until that decision day, right, which is the 8th. If Correct. It gets approved on the 8th, what does that mean?
Let me see. Like the next day, if we have practice, he should be able to be, suited up and practicing.
Until when, though?
Say again?
It gets approved. It's a temporary approved to let him practice, right? It's not like a approved to play for the entire season.
No, I don't know for certain. I do know that he can play with it. I'm not sure if there's like a time frame or a timeline. I haven't seen any details on that, but yeah, he should be able to practice and play. From at least what they are saying, the media people out there. So I would assume it's a year temporary.
Yeah, it'd be nice. That way he can just play the entire season.
Yeah. So if he gets this, so is that going to speed up the process? I feel like the NCAA is probably going to try to want to speed up the process because how long is that temporary restraining order for? Like, have we figured out, like, do we know how long those are for?
Well, it looks like Ragland knows. So yeah, with the restraining order, it'll just be until the judge makes the decision on the case. So, so basically, it would just help him practice and potentially play if the decision went into the season. But the judge obviously still has to make the decision, like Ragland and Salem. So.
I wonder how long. I wonder if that's going to kind of cost them or make them want to kind of speed things up in that process, and so they can remove that restraining order. But who knows what's going to happen with that? But my question is, though, like, I think I posed this to you guys: if the restraining order gets approved and he can practice, he took the majority of those first team reps in spring? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do we do that still without knowing if he's going to be able to practice or like officially play, and not give Micah, who's been taking the majority of those reps in the fall?
I mean, in my opinion, you let them battle it out, because, like Ragland was saying earlier, if he gets approved and he's able to practice, but then, the judge a month later says, sorry, you're done, we could be, in a way, shit out of luck, right? Like the chemistry is just not there. So I think, you let them battle it out.
What do you think, Raul?
In terms of, sorry, I was distracted here for a second. Sorry.
So my question was, do you think they should, if he does get approved for the restraining order, do you think they should have him be taking the first team reps again, since he was taking them in spring? Or do you think they should plan for having Micah taking those, since he's been taking them for the most part in spring or fall?
I would say lean towards Micah, just because that for a fact he'll be on the season. And then once it gets confirmation that, he's full on going to be a go for the entire season, you'd let him battle it out. And whoever wins, may the best man win, I guess. Just competition. That would be my way of doing it. Like, Micah's for sure in right now, so you have to go with him and let DJ do the reps with the seconds. And then if everything gets approved and he's good to go for the season, let him battle it out week by week. The battle could go on, we have till week 4 really to test the waters. In reality, we should not struggle with the first 4 games of the season. So I feel like we have till week 4 to determine how, who's going to be the better guy there.
Yeah. Either way, we should be fine, I feel like, when it comes to that position, because of, like, what you were saying, that we'll have some time for them to gel. So still not worried. I still feel confident about where we're going to be at when it comes to when we get to Illinois. I don't think we're going to be having too much issues when it comes to those first 3 games. But yeah, let's see what the chat says here. And I'm not going to read Ken's chat because I'm over that. Not going to happen. So, but yeah. Let's see. What else do you guys have to say about this whole situation with DJ? Lincoln Riley actually spoke out about it in his last press conference, or his scrimmage, or not scrimmage, but his scrum. He said he's never seen anything like this in his whole time of coaching, that the NCAA would be this petty, in a sense, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I think it's right for him to call them out. Obviously, the NCAA is a joke now, has been. So, yeah, it's. I'm glad that he's speaking up for his players. So,
yeah. All right. Anything else we want to add on to that before we move on?
I was just gonna say that DJ missing out right now could be a blessing in disguise, right? Because say that he gets approved and he's more than capable to, be with the ones, and Micah is getting valuable experience with the ones, and that just means that we get more depth for the entire season, right? It's a long season, so it doesn't hurt to have that additional depth in there.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely helps get that experience. So, yep. All right. Let's see here. Moving on. Let's go ahead and let's talk about our newest commit, Brett Kolajay. He just committed to USC. What on Friday? Yeah, Friday the 1st, August 1st, and it just we all knew that at least we all kind of had a feeling. It definitely helped to see Kenny Pepe right next to him when he was about to commit. So he's a 4-star composite offensive lineman according to 247, but everywhere else for some reason has him as a 3-star. So what are you guys' thoughts about Brett Kolajay committed to USC?
Yeah, for me, big time get, 4-star composite out of 247. Excited that we got Pepe's roommate. We got, Bowman's good friend, Cannon Smith's good friend. So there's, obviously connections like we talked about. Yeah, very excited. Liked his kind of his post commitment speech, I guess you could say, in some interviews. He's ready to come in and compete right away. He wants to be a captain. He wants to lead this team. He wants to obviously win the Natty. But I think the captain is what kind of got me a lot out of all that stuff. So excited to obviously get him on campus in the near future. Yeah, I think this kid's gonna surprise some people. So.
What about you, Raul?
The kid seems to have a great, head on his shoulders. Seems very respectable. I like the fact that he showed respect for every, college out there that went to his top 5? He kind of said, he's grateful for the opportunity. And kind of what Guns is saying, that, he's ready to compete and earn that spot and, bring championships to USC. So that's always great to hear. Kid's got the right mentality. He's not going to be one of those kids that are more than likely going to transfer out after 1 year or two. He's there to compete and earn his spot, which it's great to hear, especially in today's with today's kids that they have the freedom to transfer out the very next year if things don't go their way. So that tells me that he's here for the long run and he's going to put in the work to get to that spot.
Yeah, he definitely feels like he has that kind of dog mentality in him. Just his post speech, that he just definitely feels like he wants to see USC back on top. And like what you were saying, his captain comment, it was really cool to see that that's his goal, is to be a captain on this team. And that's kind of like it. Not saying we don't have like those linemen that really wanted to be a captain, but like when you kind of have a guy like that, that's his goal, is to be a captain right off the bat. That's definitely something you want to hear and see from your future offensive linemen. And like Hassan Longstreet and Jonas Williams definitely have a great offensive line going to be right in front of them in the coming years. So they're definitely sleeping nice tonight. They're knowing that they're going to have a wall in front of them. So,
and it seems like a lot of our commits have that mentality where they know they're going to have to put in the work to get there, and they're going to be patient and get their spot. So I love what Chad Bowden is doing with his class and the culture that they're building. So it's great to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Zach Hansen for his recruiting. He's like, it kind of annoys me with how recruiting has gone in the past on the offensive line side, and with now Zach Hansen taking over that position, it definitely it's infuriating with how lackluster our recruiting on the offensive line has been. Like, Elijah Page is probably the best offensive lineman that we've had in a long time, or at least when it came to recruiting wise. And within the 4 years that Josh Hansen was our offensive line coach, or 4 or 3 years, I don't know. But either way, it's just really annoying, but it's finally right where we're having a good offensive line coach to be able to lead this team here. So let's see what else is talking about here. Fight on Natty says, "What's good, everybody?" Joe Boy says, "I hope they can get rookies on the field on offense." Yeah, I can see it. I feel like the offensive line is going to have a lot more newer faces next year. A lot of the freshmen could be coming in. Elijah Page is going to be there for the he can't go into the NFL draft right now, right?
He is the sophomore redshirt, so after this year he could if he wanted to. Yeah.
What is that?
Elijah Page.
Yes, he can, but he still has a lot to prove, though.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot to grow.
He balled out and somehow got a good grade. Yeah, it's definitely possible, but yeah, I think he would stay for.
Yeah, I don't see him. Even if he balls out this year, I feel like because he's still not. He doesn't have like a proven track record yet.
Yeah, and Kristen says, "Let's give
Riley one more year."
Kristen says, "Let's give Riley some kudos with the recruiting as well." Cole J said a big part of him coming was playing golf with Riley and coming to Riley's house for dinner and talking life with him. So yeah, definitely shout outs to him and definitely Chad Bowman definitely had a hand in it too as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's great to see. And then the other thing that, I don't think we touched on is that Brett College's super underrated kid. 247 has him as an 3-star. I think on 3 has him as a 4-star, but still underrated kid. I feel like that should be higher ranked than what he currently is. And with that being said, he wasn't afraid of competition because how many O-line do we have already that are committed?
We definitely have a lot. I think we have 5 right now.
We got 7 now, including him.
7?
So
So
definitely
that tells me, like I said, he's not afraid of competition. So that's always great to see.
And it's good to see the other commits like showing some love to him and saying welcome. So and it also definitely helps that Kenny and Breck are basically right side by side with each other on the field. Like they're roommates, and he plays left guard right next to Kenny, so they already have that cohesion. So they can easily come right in and just be like plug and play. I feel like when it comes to their chemistry. So, and of course, Cannon Smith. Isn't he the center as well? Isn't that who we recruited him as, the center?
Yeah, he's going to be, yep.
So that's 3 guys that have a lot of chemistry together. So I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of them are starting by year 2 or so and just having that great cohesion. So this definitely feels very calculated with how they were recruiting. Like, okay, we know that you guys work well together. You guys are friends. So this is just it just is already a match made in heaven. And then we have Chase Danis could be the right guard at that point. And then who else do we have? John Fafita and then Eason Tafa.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're definitely stacked on the offensive line for the foreseeable future at this point. So it's definitely looking good for the future quarterbacks and the running backs. So.
Yeah, and last I'll say is even we have 7, right? So if in the future if someone does leave, we're still in a good spot, right? So
we have Kenny, we have
Vlad D.
Vlad D, Eason,
Breck, Fafita, right? Fafita, what's his name?
Say that again.
The other poly kid, is it Fafita or maybe I think I'm getting it wrong.
John Fafita?
Yeah.
Is it Fafita? Okay.
Yeah. And real quick, just to touch on this here, fight on Natties. So Winfield has filed a temporary restraining order, which if it gets approved on the 8th of August, he will be able to practice with the team, and if it goes as long as if it drags out, he could possibly play on in the upcoming games. But it really all depends on the court system or the judge at that point to be able to push this through. So yeah, so we have John Fafita, Chase, Cannon, we have Breck, Vlad D, Isan Tafa, and then Kenny. So that's like the future of this offensive line, and honestly, it's a great lineup for offense. Like whoever start, like we already have our starting left tackle and Kenny, and then his left guard mate right there, and then Cannon,
and Isan Tafa too.
Isan, yeah. Either like we're stacked at this point.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're still number one and on 3, even though 247 has us at number 2. But it really doesn't matter what rank we're at. I'm still happy with what we have at this point when it comes to our recruits. But yeah, ready to move on?
Before you go to the third quarter, do you have something for halftime or no?
No,
so I'll use this as halftime. Someone put a comment earlier. I don't know who was in the chat. It was I don't know if you're still here or not, but it's about that he was in the Iowa podcast, J Dubs.
Oh yeah, let's see here.
We can talk about that slightly here.
J Dub says, I just watched an Iowa football podcast previewing USC, and the Iowa guys said he wishes USC would go to Iowa or Minnesota in late November. This low IQ take, I guess every single player on USC's roster is from LA. Yeah, we have a player from Minnesota, by the way. And then let's see, he says, I will never understand these Midwest Big Ten fans who want to see USC in cold, like if we don't have players from the Midwest. Yeah. And honestly, okay, Iowa, I'm in Minnesota. Like in November, it's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. Like you're cold, but it's not like freaking snowing, blizzard winters like in Green Bay in the middle of January, like in the NFL. You're not going to see that for really not too many college football games. I mean, sure, there's the occasional Ohio State game or that Purdue game that they had where it was like blistering cold, but it's not like that all the time. I don't get why they think that's a thing in every November season. It's not. It really isn't. So,
yep. And it's not like, and the other thing to add on to your comment, Black Chen, whether we have guys that are from the Midwest or not, we play in Oregon and in Washington and
Colorado,
in Indiana and Colorado. Those places are also cold, guys.
Yeah, Colorado strategically has USC play in November every time that USC came out to Colorado, and yes, there was snow, but we still kicked their ass.
So with that being said, those fans, they are putting too much stock in that weather. It's not like it's going to catch us off guard. Unless it's snowing, even if it snows, it's going to impact both teams, not just one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're not oblivious. Like you're not invulnerable to snow just because you're in Minnesota or you're in fucking Iowa. Sorry, I cursed a little bit, but like I've lived in Colorado most of my life and I still hate the cold. I live in Minnesota and I still hate the cold. Like just because I'm out here doesn't mean I'm going to be going out in shorts and a freaking tank top because, oh, I'm from Minnesota.
What do you think, Guns? You live in Arizona, so what's your input on this?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it perfectly. I don't really have much else to add on, to
Guns,
be honest.
have you ever experienced snow, Guns?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay, just making sure because you're in Arizona and I don't know if they have
snow and all that. So, but yeah.
Hey, but the desert gets cold too, though.
Does it get cold out there, Guns?
Like when it's cold, it gets pretty cold too, right?
Does it get cold?
Oh,
in
yeah.
Arizona?
Definitely, and it gets cold. Definitely. You know,
what's cold out there? Tell me what's cold.
60s, 50s. You know, those are cold. It's cold in Arizona.
That is not cold, my guys. That is perfect weather in Minnesota.
Hey, when you're used to 110 degrees, it gets cold for you. You know, so
I feel like it even gets lower, like in the 40s, 30s, like actually in the
yeah,
desert.
definitely can. Especially if you go up more north. Yeah, if you go up more north, which is only a couple hours away, it snows and stuff. So
I'm still wearing shorts, and that, like in Minnesota, if it's like 40 degrees, I'm still wearing shorts. So it's not that bad. So that could sound bad when it comes to like the LA kids, but who cares? They'll be fine. They're football players. They prepare for that, because when they get to the NFL, they're not always going to have sunshine and rainbows or whatever. So yeah, let's move on. Let's just move forward here. Let's go into the fall camp updates here. So give us some updates that has been going on, Guns.
yeah, we practiced today. Didn't get much information today, but we practiced today at the Collie. Saw some clips and stuff like that. So I'm glad that we were able to get a practice in the Collie. We started Wednesday, and then I believe Friday was our second practice.
It was
close to the media for the most part. But from what we're hearing, is Micah. Obviously, you know, we've talked about him. He's taking the first team reps. Sounds like the O line is doing really good. Sounds like the offense in general won the day in terms of Friday. You know, hopefully we hear more, you know, later on about today. But you know, it's a great start to practice. You know, we're not hearing any, you know, injury issues so far, anything like that. So I think that's a credit to Coach True and just the overall staff of the practices and all that. So yeah, it's so far a great start into this fall camp, and excited to, you know, as we get more into it, will we find out.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley says that that they it was hard for them to kind of from when they just did their like spiders or whatever, or they were in full pads, but they weren't like going to the ground or whatever. He says that they had a lot of good energy. So Lincoln Riley, he seems like he's a different guy from based off like last year's and the years before when it comes to like the fall camps. He feels more like optimistic and more like positive, and just like feels like this is the team that he's gonna that it's gonna be the turning point when it comes to this. So let's see here. What else did he mention? Trying to remember what the peristyle talked about in this, but definitely so are they doing full tackle pretty soon, or was that today? Guns.
What was the question? Sorry.
Did they start doing full contact today?
I think today it appeared like they were in full pads. So yeah, I would assume that they got after it today. Friday was more of the shell pads and stuff like that. But like you said earlier, like they got physical and stuff like that. So yeah, it's sounds like the boys are looking to, you know, hit each other. So it's great to see.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to cover when it comes to fall camp at this point? Because not too much information has been really given out since their last scrum or whatever. But we can go ahead and just move on directly to the
one thing I wanted to add, some from Chris Trevino's Ghost Notes. So there was a special teams period, you know, looking at the punt returners, the kick returners. Something that was noted here, and I honestly wasn't aware of this until recently. Lincoln Riley picks who returns the kicks.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of talking about, you know, last year, right? It makes sense maybe why Zach was taking the returns a little bit longer than what we wanted. He was, I guess, giving him his chance to change, you know, and prove himself. But I just thought in general that was interesting, right? You know, we have a coordinator, so to speak, with special teams, and it's, you know, I mean, truly, you know, at the end of the day, at most spots, it's technically is the coach's decision, head coach's decision. But yeah, it's interesting still, regardless. So
Yeah, we have a special teams coordinator, and he's not the one that's provide like he does give like updates to like Lincoln Riley, who he feels like should like he just gives his input. But Lincoln Riley, I guess, was heavily watching the special teams portion of it, and I know a lot of people want to see Mekhi Lemon kind of take the special team kicks and punts, but I feel like he shouldn't really be kind of doing that because we don't need any more kind of wear and tear on him. If the people that like we have 4 games to have these to get someone prepared for this because we definitely should be having all these other teams punt a lot.
Did Mekhi get injured with punt return? Sorry to interrupt you, Black Chan.
No, but why risk it? Why risk it?
I just say kick returns only for him, in my opinion. I don't know the punt. I would want someone else. Give him like a little, you know, time to chill. But yeah, they're looking at everyone. They're looking at Josiah Z, James Johnson, Wayman Jordan, Xavier Jordan,
Eli.
Also, Eli hasn't been mentioned much. I think Eli.
I thought you did mention him. No.
At least I'm reviewing the ghost notes. So he wasn't mentioned in the ghost notes, but I know if you're correct, Eli was doing the spring right during the spring. So maybe something changed. I'm not sure. Even Zacharias Williams was doing some returns as well. So I think they're just looking at options. Wouldn't surprise me though. We go into camp and we see Eli Sanders. So
yeah. I just feel like Mekhi needs to kind of be more healthy for taking more reps at wide receiver because he wasn't getting full reps last year. We already know how that was going on. They were doing a weird kind of splits for that. So I definitely feel like he needs to be making more, of course, being the go-to guys for Jaden. We need him there at all times. If there's someone that's better or at least close to the point that Mekhi Lemon was, I definitely think we need to explore that because any extra hits is definitely going to make things take a toll on his body.
Absolutely. And then one last note from the ghost notes. You know, Chris is saying that he continues to feel like Longstreet is the backup quarterback as he works alongside Jaden Mayaba.
Really?
So yeah, it sounds like that could happen. It's just from his perspective. But yeah, so we'll find out obviously in the season who is really the backup. But I just thought that was something that was interesting as well when reading it.
I would have thought it would have been Heward or Sam Heward. I'm pronouncing his name right?
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been him just because of the experience.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Longstreet has taken a big stride from spring to now, that's great to hear. I just don't want to burn a year. I guess he won't get burned, right? If we don't use him for how many games? Is it 4 games?
Correct.
But who knows how it would work out? But it would suck to lose him to lose eligibility for 1 year as a backup, though.
Yeah, like I honestly, even if he did, if Jaden Mayaba somehow wasn't the starting quarterback, I still think Lincoln Riley would maybe kind of. I don't know. Like
I would see him go to Longstreet. That's just me, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. I hope we get to see some more.
It won't be that. It won't happen. The Mayaba's gonna be
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like I'm not saying he's going to get taken off because of performance. You never know; injuries can happen. But.
Right.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Already knocked on wood. But yeah. So, do we want to move on to the early preview for Nebraska now?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right. So, fourth quarter now. So we're going to be previewing Nebraska and just seeing how they were last year and how we perceive that going this year. So last year Nebraska was 7-6. They didn't get their they got bowl eligible, not when they played USC. That's when we became bowl eligible last year. But they did end up winning their bowl game against Nebraska, or not Nebraska, Boston College last year. So, but yeah. So, what are you guys' thoughts going for Nebraska and playing them next this season, Guns?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big year for Nebraska and Matt Rule. You know, in his 2 previous college stints, his 3rd year is where he really shines. Right at Temple, they were under 500. Then he goes 10-4 his 3rd year. Right, Baylor under 500, goes 11-3 his 3rd year. So this is definitely a big year for him, and you know, we'll see if that transition does happen. They got Dana Holgerson as the OC, solid offensive mind. He'll be playing, you know, doing the play calling duties as he did the Final 4 games. You know, they got Emmett Johnson as the running back. They brought in some key wide receiver players, Dan Keene and Isaiah Hunter. And they also have Ja'Cory Barney Jr., who was on the staff, the team last year. Obviously, they're replacing their coordinator, Tony White, is now John Butler. He was the secondaries coach last year, so he's got, you know, he understands the scheme and the players and whatnot. So he's looking to, you know, improve some areas like 3rd down, red zone defense, stuff like that. You know, they did lose some pieces on the defensive line. It sounds like they that could still be solid from what I've read and all that. Secondaries is kind of the strength of the defense right now, and they, you know, anticipate the linebackers to be solid as well. So just in general, I mean, this is a road game. I'm glad that this is going to be coming off a bye. You know, it's a rowdy environment there. You know, they've sold out, you know, the stadium seems like every game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for a while. So it's going to be, you know, going to be loud, rowdy. So you definitely need to make sure that we're ready for this. And I think the prior road games that we have, Notre Dame, Illinois, will help us into this game. And just interested to see what kind of Nebraska team. You know, like I said earlier, the 3rd year is big for Matt Rule team. So if that continues, then this is going to be a big time game for us when we get there.
All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts, Raul?
I mean, regarding Nebraska, I know people are putting a lot of stock in the Illinois game. I personally think this is going to be a tougher game. The crowd, they have a crazy record, right, of sellouts. Like it stands back like 30, 40 years or so. I can't remember the actual number, but apparently they have like consecutive amounts of sellouts, and I think the crowd's going to be it's going to be tough to deal with. It's going to be the 4th straight, or we're going to play. I think we come off a bye, so that's the only thing that helps us. But I still think that crowd is going to definitely be a big factor. So I'm hoping that the team prepares during that bye week with the noise, because I'm sure it's going to be pretty loud out there. And, you know, this is a game that definitely worries me. I can see this as a game that we can potentially lose if we don't, you know, start off the game right. So in order for us to win this game, I feel like we have to start off with a good lead in the beginning. And in other words, we can't start slow.
Yeah.
This is a game that definitely scares me.
See, last year I was pretty positive when it came to Dylan Raiola. Like I liked what he was doing. It was his freshman year, so people, of course, are still trashing on him of his whole gimmick, I guess, a wrestling gimmick of Patrick Mahomes. But I honestly think he did really well for a first year starter freshman. I think he did a good job, and I have more faith in him than I do have for what's his name from Illinois. I can't remember the quarterback's name for Illinois, but I think Dylan Raiola having that first year freshman starting definitely gives him a kind of a head start. And the other guy, he's been in college football for so long, that's why people are giving him a little bit more praise at this point. But he's just, I don't know, just something just tells me that he's not as good as everyone says he is. He's not the second or third best quarterback in the Big Ten. We already know that Jaden Miles was top 3, and then I think Dylan Raiola has a chance to be a top quarterback in the Big Ten. But last year, so for the stats for Nebraska, their defense was good. They were 8th overall in rushing defense, 18th overall in total defense, and scoring defense, they were 17th. They were only giving up 19.5 points, and we were one of the few teams that did score over that. We scored 28 on them. They held Ohio State to 21 points. The national championship team that was pretty much one of the top offenses, they held them to 21 points. And that was at Ohio State. So that's insane. That's a pretty good look for them. But then the game before that, they lost to Indiana 56-7. So it could be a very hit or miss defense. And now the fact that Tony White, who was one of the candidates for USC for defensive coordinator, is gone. I know they're having someone who has some continuity with their defense come in, but I think there was just something about Tony White that was just really captivating about his coaching style. Like when I did a video about Tony White and how he could have been possibly our defensive coordinator, like I was buying into it. And I was really hoping that we would get him. Granted, we got a better coordinator in Danton Lynn. I think they're going to feel the effects of him being gone early on. I think they'll start to mesh better towards the season, so they could be more cohesive when we play them next year. But I don't know. Is what's his name from USC, the transfer from USC, still there?
With the wide receiver, or who are you talking about?
The DB.
No, the DB. Spacing his name for some reason. Yeah. I believe he's
right.
still there.
Yeah. He's gonna be there.
Who?
You mean Sayer Wright?
Sayer Wright. Yeah. So he's still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, still there. Yeah.
And looking at their depth chart, they're going to have a pretty experienced O-line. So that should help them out this year as well.
Yeah, Sayer popped off against us. That was his best game ever in his whole career. And it happened to be against us. He had a pick 6. He had, 2 interceptions against us? I think he had a pick
6 for sure. I want to say
one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2. I'm pretty sure he had 2 interceptions against us because they have 2 interceptions. Let me just take a look on their defensive side. But it should be interesting to see us play against him again in Nebraska too. So that definitely is going to be very interesting at that point. But
this game scares me more than that Illinois game, in my opinion.
Definitely.
They have an experienced O-line. Like I'm looking at their O-line projected starters. Their junior transfer, redshirt senior, junior, redshirt senior transfer, a redshirt junior. Their tight end is also a redshirt junior. So they're gonna have an experienced O-line. So
did they start the year before though?
That I'm not sure. But they are going to have that experience, and as you know, everything with the more experience you have, the better you get at your job. So yeah, I feel like it could be a good test for us for sure.
And like what Gunn said, the year 3 of Matt Rule, we'll see if that trend still continues for him. But so
and like Raglan said, I mean, they have a weak schedule, right? So I mean, they like you're saying, they should be healthy somewhat right due to the weak schedule. They don't really play big time teams before us. So
they play Northwestern, they play Minnesota, Maryland. They do have a pretty weak schedule. Like their hardest game up until USC is Michigan. So
they can definitely be undefeated at that point then.
Yeah, they have a good shot but then the second half of their schedule, well, they play Penn State at Penn State, so that's going to be a rough game for them. And then they have Iowa at the end of the year. So, and I get what you're saying, Kristen. He's a statue if you get pressure on him. But see, he was also a freshman. There's going to be that sophomore leap. Who knows? Maybe, or sophomore slump. We'll see. So, like just because
I do favor with. Sorry to interrupt you. I really didn't mean to do that, but I have to favor with Ragland. I watched him in high school, and that was kind of my thoughts. You know, if you get pressure up the middle with him, he's gonna throw some interceptions. But to your point as well, he was a freshman, so you would hope from a Nebraska standpoint that he improves. So big time year. It's a sophomore year, right? You see those big jumps from freshman to sophomore year. So,
and Matt Rule's good with quarterbacks. Same with what's his name? Their who's their offensive coordinator again?
Daniel Holgerson.
Yeah, so like I feel like if I think they can get him right, but I hope he's not good by the time he plays USC. I don't care, but Sierra, right? yes. I think it's like CEYIAR or whatever.
Hey, with that being said, I still see USC winning this game.
Oh yeah, I see us winning. But
hold on, let me say this. The reason I've said a 10-2 schedule so they don't call me a USC homer, but I definitely think we can go 12-0 if everything falls in our favor with no injuries. But this is a game that definitely scares me a little bit. And shout out USC Jay, if you're still in the chat.
Kristen, are you watching this live? Because we talked about that like 5 minutes ago, my guy. But yeah, so he had a field goal block against us. So then he threw an interception to someone else. Then, all right. But yeah, other than that, I definitely do think that they're more of a threat than Illinois is. But I know it's still going to be a rough game for US, or not a rough game, but it's going to be a tough game for us because it's away at Illinois, and I'm sure Illinois is going to want revenge on us after that Rose Bowl that we kind of embarrassed them on. Same with Nebraska. Nebraska is going to definitely want some revenge on us after we beat them last year and almost prevented them from what is called getting to a bowl game.
So I was saying about the sellout. So they have 403 consecutive games that have sold out, stemming all the way from 1962. So this crowd is going to be tough. So the coach, Lincoln Riley and staff need to prepare these guys, because I feel like this game is going to be rocking, especially at USC. They're going to want payback from last year. So the team needs to be prepared for that noise and the crowd.
Yeah, I think that could be one of the louder stadiums that we plan next to Oregon. Oregon's going to be loud. We know that for sure. But I think Nebraska's probably going to be the second loudest stadium that we're going to be in. All right. Anything else we kind of want to talk about when it comes to Nebraska guns or Raul?
No, we can open it to the chat. We got, if you guys want to do that.
The only last thing I'll say is from a portal standpoint, I have them 9th out of 18 Big Ten teams. So, average, but they had some key spots, the two wide receivers, a linebacker, and the edge kid that came from Missouri. So they did get some good talent, here and there, but we'll see what they look like. I think the big piece is those two wide receivers, because going back to Dana real quick, he loves to throw the ball. He's an air raid type of guy. So that could be the game plan going into our game, right? Because I would expect us to be very tough on the run D. So it's just my thoughts in general that teams are probably going to try to throw on us more. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. What else do you guys want to talk about when it comes to Nebraska, or did we just want to open it up to the chat here?
Yep.
Yeah, let's open it up.
All right. Well, if you guys want to come in here, say anything to the team here, go ahead and hop in there. I'm surprised Kristen hasn't jumped in right off the bat. But yeah, other than that, like, I think Nebraska's definitely going to be a sneaky team. They have a really favorable schedule for them, so we could be seeing an undefeated team or maybe a 1 or 2 loss team.
Who plays that? Who plays that weekend? Like any top games? Like say that we both are undefeated. That could definitely be a.
I have no clue. I'm not going to try to. Like,
What week is that? Let me check the schedule.
That is November 1st.
Raul wants get game day at USC every week if they can.
They're not going to bring game day to that game, I don't think, unless we're all undefeated and we're top 5. I don't think so. Like, let's see if I can actually pull up a schedule for that here. But
yeah, I mean it's. You got Oklahoma, Tennessee that weekend. You got Penn State, Ohio State.
Oh, Penn State, Ohio State. No.
Yeah, probably nothing.
Yeah. Let's see.
I would say that's about it. I mean, there's some good ones. Still Georgia, Florida. I mean, yeah, but other than that,
we're definitely not getting that game unless
it's up. Yeah, it's your discretion. What do you think?
Unless
Nebraska, even if we're undefeated, I feel like they'll still go to Ohio State, Penn State, even if they have a loss. They'll just be biased.
Yeah, well, yeah, but at least it's a Big Ten, not a SEC team, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, other than that, there's no real big games. If we're undefeated, then maybe Ohio State has maybe 1, or if both of them have 1 loss, then I could see them coming to to the Nebraska game, because it is Nebraska. They're known for tailgating as well, so it definitely would be good for game day. But other than that, I just don't see that.
Real quick, Joe, Illinois game will actually be our second road game. Purdue is going to be our first, so hopefully they learn a lot from that Purdue road trip.
Yeah. All right. I think we can probably just cut it out there at this point. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm good. If no one wants to join up, excited to talk Wednesday. I believe our next one is
It's Kristen.
All right, Kristen.
What's going on, Kristen?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Hey, Black Che, don't try to do me. You be late on reading messages. We send them messages when you talk about it. It just take you 15 minutes to get to the message.
I'm the one that's constantly looking at the chat and bringing up the chat, so I got to bring all that up. So I'm going through everyone's chats, okay? So I'm the one.
Okay, well, but don't do me and say, am I watching live? We talked about it 5 minutes ago when the comment came 5 minutes ago.
Hey, Kristen was here before the show started, so I got to get back here.
Get him, Raul. I don't know why he tried to give me a hard time. He did a couple of bicep curls before the show and took his sleeves off. Now he's bullying everybody.
Nah. See, the thing about it is, though, Raul, though, like, Kristen always gives me shit, so I'm not giving shit. Especially about my 40, so I'm going to give you shit. But yeah, so what do you want? What's on your mind, Kristen?
Man, it's even better for us, right? That by the time we play Nebraska, if they can get past Michigan, they should be undefeated, or at least just have 1 loss, right? So that's even better for us to be able to go up there and beat them at home, because they at that time they're gonna be ranked, right? I mean, you look at those teams they have before that. I mean, they can easily be undefeated, so they're going to be pretty high ranked. So no matter where we at within our season, it'll be a good win. And our biggest issue last year, which is why I feel confident about going into Nebraska winning. I mean, they were gashing us. We all know they were gashing us on the ground, right? Like everybody will. I mean, they was running through truck size holes, right? Their running backs were, I mean, they were killing us. But we have a remedy for that, right? So by taking them out and making them one dimensional is the game plan. Like if you look at all our defensive coordinators and what they asked Lynn, what they asked our defensive line coach about getting pressure this year, they said you have to earn the right to rush the passer. So before we can worry about getting sacks and rushing the passer, we have to shut down the run. And once you make them one dimensional, you earn that right to get that pressure. And so we brought in the bodies for that. So we're going to make Nebraska one dimensional, and there's nothing about Dylan Raiola that showed me that he can go win a game, right? He has that Caleb Williams. I don't see that where he can go win a game without a run game, or you put it all on his shoulder. The more he throws, you want him to get in the game where he's throwing 40 times because he's such a gunslinger and he trusts that big arm. When that pressure get there, he'll just throw it up. And he'll just throw it into crowds. We've seen that against us last year. He did the same thing. So I feel confident about this game because we're going to have the ability to shut down the run and gain the right, as our coaches say. I love that mentality, right? You shut down the run and you earn the right to rush the passer, right? And so we're going to shut down that run. And I don't see that Raiola even have the tools on the outside. They have one receiver that I like. He was pretty good last year, but with the corners we have and the DBs that we have, I don't see Raiola being able to put the game on his shoulders and go get it done against us. I just don't. And we're going to shut down the run. So, and by the time Nebraska comes, we'll know for sure if we can shut down the run because that's later in the season. But we better be able to shut down the run.
So last year they actually didn't really gash us all that much because they like our average that we gave up on the ground was 145 yards. We gave up only 125 yards rushing on them. So I would say that's pretty good for our defense at that time. And we gave up a season, or not a season low, but an average low of 191 yards receiving through the air as well. But I still I know what you're saying, that he's a statue out there, but what do you kind of expect when it comes to like a freshman season for a guy that's like, it's his second season as a head coach at Nebraska? What do you expect?
So a statue has nothing to. You being a statue has nothing to do with.
You can coach that out of him,
but you being a statue has nothing to do with your progression as a quarterback. It's to your physical limitation. He's a big, slow kid. He's just not that. He's not just that mobile. He's a sit in the pocket type of guy, gunslinger. He's a typical, you know what I'm saying? He's a, pro style quarterback, right? He's not going to run away from anybody. He's just a big, slow guy, which that's why I say a statue. It's not nothing against his progression or read or anything like that. It has everything to do with his physical capability and his mobility. He's very slow, right? Like he's very slow because he's a big kid, and he's not only tall, but he got some meat on him. He's a big, strong kid. He's a gunslinger, so he's not that. He's not mobile. He's not going to run around the pocket. He's not going to look to elude, evade pressure. His whole thing is gunslinging, right? And so when the pressure gets there to him, and I understand what you're saying. They can coach it up. Trust what you see, not trust your arm. But that remains to be seen. He's still a young kid, and he's used to getting away with those type plays his entire life, from just by being that much greater than everybody else on the field. But in college, it's a different story. But just like we want Maava to take the next step, I'm pretty sure they're coaching him up on that as well. But with us being able to shut down the run and his mobility not being there, being a big, strong kid, like that's what you want. It's fair game. You know what I'm saying? The defensive line should be ready to eat. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to worry about him running around the ends and taking off for 30 yards on you, 40 yards on you. If he do break the pocket, he gonna get 2 or 3 yards at most and slide because he's too slow. He's a standing target, a big kid. So if we shut down the run, which we should be able to, you shut down the run, you earn the right to rush the passer, and then that's when our pass rusher should be able to feast and famine and give them a long night.
Real quick before, so we have someone in the chat here, KR Gordon 08. We really appreciate that. Hey, Raul, let me just talk here. So really appreciate you being in our chat, and we welcome any other fans from other schools here, but don't be calling names here. We really appreciate you here. This is your one and only warning at this point, and I'm not trying to silence you or whatever. Just be respectful, and if you're not respectful, then you're gone. So that's all I gotta say.
I mean, and then okay, Gordon, he brought up the whole weather situation. Like I mentioned,
Hold on, I can't see.
earlier.
I can't see the comment, but I see my name. Did he say something about me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said
but,
that you don't
hold
know
on.
football.
Who was
Gordon,
this?
or whatever your name is, KR
Hey,
Gordon.
Ty Gordon, if you want to talk, get into
Yeah,
the
let's go. Let's talk football. Come on.
yeah, because you can talk. Like we have no problem with hearing you out. But if you don't want to talk on the show, then then yeah. Like
Let's debate. I welcome it, and I'm gonna bust your head.
Hold on, Kristen. Let me say this real quick. You guys in the Midwest are overhyping this weather situation. USC is used to playing in cold weather. I don't know if you guys heard of Oregon or Washington, but it gets pretty cold up there too. Utah, Colorado, it gets pretty cold out there. And we're going to play Nebraska in November 1st. I did a quick Google search. What's the average weather in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska in November? It said 27 degrees. Yeah, 27 degrees might be a little cold. It's not that cold. When you're playing football, you're running around, you won't feel that cold. Now, if it's snowing, that's a different situation, but it said it's 1 or 2% chance it snows towards the late November. We're going to play November 1st. So I think you guys are overhyping this whole weather situation.
But yeah, so either way, KR Gordon, if you want to get in here, by all means, come on. Like we welcome it. We're probably going to have some Nebraska podcasters on before the game, so we're not shy of having the opposition on the show. So
please come on. Let's talk football. Come on.
All I ask is for you to be respectful. If you're not going to be respectful, then you don't need to be here. So that's all that matters. Like I'm not trying to be rude to you at all. So just be cordial to everyone in the chat. But yeah, other than that though, like I still think Nebraska is going to be tougher than Illinois, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a tough game for us, regardless of the weather situation. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a crowd. The crowd is going to be a factor for sure. Yeah,
the crowd is going to be a factor. The home field advantage. They always are pretty tough at home, but it just really all depends on their defense. I feel like losing out of Tony White is a pretty big deal.
Hey, fella, I can't. For some reason, I'll be on here. I can't see comments and all that, but I see my name again. So I'm about to hop in the comments and get out here so I can see because he ain't gonna come on. So I want all the smoke.
No, you're good, Kristen.
All right, Kristen. Appreciate you, man.
You guys joining. We're probably gonna cut it here shortly, Kristen.
Yeah, I think we're going to cut it out of here. We have really nothing else to say that we haven't already said already. But so next, Guns, go ahead and shout out the Cal Southern Centaurs real quick.
Yeah, Centaurs will be starting up this Tuesday, the 5th. We'll be going every Tuesday and Thursday. So first game. Again, it's Tuesday, so join up on the Twitch. We'll probably go around 5:30. We'll definitely, tweet it out so you guys are aware, and we'll always post the games on YouTube afterwards. We'll definitely be filling the remaining spots, so we have some members. So we'll let you know Tuesday or Wednesday, who filled those spots, and we'll go from there.
All right.
And then just a friendly reminder that next Sunday as well, for those that only maybe join on Sundays, we're going to start earlier next Sunday because B. Jones can't make it from 4:30 to 1. So we probably get an AM start next week.
Yeah, so be on the lookout. We'll definitely post up the stream and let you know when it's going to be. We're just going to talk with B Jones and see what works best for everyone, so we can continue to have B Jones on the show. But yeah, other than that, if you do want to get a chain that I make here, definitely follow me on Twitter or on Instagram and get your order in. And yeah, get it in before the season starts on August 31st. So other than that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Or sorry, not 31st, 30th, August 30th. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And until next time, keep the torch burning bright and always fight on.
Right on.
Hold on.